something they have no business doing. Do you think that's a big effect on teen pregnancy?
Um, if I get what you're asking, you're basically saying that if a child's been kept locked up in the house, key ring on and everything, and they're controlled from the minute they wake up, to the minute they go to bed, the first time they get some freedom, they're going to make some choices that aren't necessarily in their best interest. I would tend to agree with that. I would tend to agree with that. I don't know how the other panelists feel, but I would tend to agree with that.
I just want to add something. I kind of, I do agree with that, with what I just said, that once you let a child go out and it's been tied down, because I've been that kid, and like some nights or whatever, like once they finally get out, they're finally like, oh, let's go live it up or whatever. And I think that's wrong on the parents' part, because the parents should provide the child with some healthy freedom to make their own choices, to be independent, to learn, and stop. Like, sometimes the parents kind of overdo it, and they might try to protect their child from other things, like protect them from the world. And the parents might see, like, the dogs and the demons out there that the kid cannot see, because they've been there and they've done that. But we want to experience that too. We want to live our world, so we're out looking for it. And we don't want other peers to make, like our parents to make our choices for us. It's part of growing up and developing.
I think that's just a natural parental instinct, is to not want you to go through the same things that we've gone through. So a lot of times it's well intended on the parents' part, but again, it's ultimately up to you, the decisions you make in your life.
You said healthy freedom. What's healthy freedom?
Healthy freedom is like, it can be just like, yeah, it's like basically hanging out with your peers and getting some input from them. It's like not healthy to stay trapped up in your room all day and watch SpongeBob or something. And yeah.
Like in a certain range, like at the age of 16, girls and boys come to a point where they're growing up, they get their ID, their social security card. That means they're grown up to be a young lady or a young gentleman. In the case of being parents, they'd be like, no, I wouldn't do that. I don't want my kids going through that. So they'd be like, no, they're going to stay in the house at this time. At least, they're judging the kids already. Because they came from them, they think that they're going to do the same mistakes I
Are
did.
they necessarily judging the children, or are they judging the outside world?
Outside world. Like
Yeah, see,
everybody said.
what happens is that it's the pitfalls that are out there that we're aware of. It's like that dude that's 19 years old, and you're only 14, is hanging around. The parent happens to know he's no good for you. Now, because you're at that natural rebellious age, you're going, I don't care what you say. I'm getting with him. You know what I'm saying? But the parent, they already know. You know?
But
So
like,
again, I'm sorry.
Oh,
Again, it's just, they have well intentions. You know what I'm saying? Parents aren't the evil people that you guys are making them out to be. We really care, we want the best for you, and you have to forgive them if they sometimes overstep their boundaries. But that's where you have to let them know that, hey, Mom, I'm 15, 16, I'm capable of making decisions on my own.
for saying, not for every kid, because every kid is not the same. You're your own person.
Right.
You can't give a child too much freedom, because you can give one child freedom, and then when they mess up, you blame it on the other child because of their mistakes. So you can't really give too much freedom to each and every child, because they're not the same, because they might do something they have no business doing.
But what I'm going to do is there's a question over here. I'm just going to say, but what happens is that we have to, you have to treat children as individuals. Even if you have a family that has 3 or 4 kids, those are 3 or 4 distinct, different personalities. And what may work with the oldest child may not work with the youngest child.
I'd just like to say that there is a difference between locking your children up at home, keeping them at home, and making your children and your children's friends feel welcome in your home. And for me, that's the best way to be. My home is open. My children's friends are always welcome there. Their friends usually like me a lot better than my own kids like me. And they want to be there, so why are you clapping back there? So they're welcome. welcome in the home. I know what's going on. I know who their friends are. And I wish more parents would do that.
I think there's a question in the back somewhere.
Say the after party's at her house. Everybody.
Saladin, there's a question way in the back.
Okay.
Well, as the mother of 3 daughters, teenage daughters, I just want to say that it's not so much that we want to lock our children down. It's just like we've done these things. We've done them for you so you don't have to. We don't have to keep going in the same cycles again and again.
Yes.
And at some point you have to break the cycle. So that's why we tell you, no, don't do it. Because more than likely we know what's going to come out of it because we've done it. Not only did I do it, but I tell them their aunt did it, their grandmother did it, their just cousins did it. We've all done it, so you don't have to.
Saladin, I think someone on the panel wants to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
And you know what? I think that's why we're here now, because there's a lot of parents here, it's aunts here, it's grandmas here, because we care and we want to hear what you guys have to say. And we want to listen. This time we're going to listen to what you guys have to say. We want to understand. We want to be a part of the solution. So, you know, I'm sorry if you was made to stay upstairs in your room, but girl, it's okay. And thank you for saying that, because you know what? If you don't say something, we don't know. We could be doing the same thing to the grandkids, and we just don't.
I just want to go off of what Wanda just said. She said, my mom trusts me. And I think that's very important. Like, I think that really affects teenagers' decisions, because there's a lot of teenagers out there that parents do not trust them. And my thing is, if you're not going to trust me now, why should I even try for you anymore? Like, if you don't trust me and I haven't done anything to even lose your trust, why should I even try my best for you? Like, why should I listen to what you have to say if you don't even trust me enough to listen to what I have to say?
Damn.
And I think that plays a big part in people's decisions.
That's good.
I want to add on to what Dolores said about, like, and what Wanda said, don't keep me locked up in the house. Because I feel like sometimes I'm that child, like, don't keep me locked up. Allow me to go to the outside world and make my own mistakes. And just don't keep me ignorant to the outside world. That's all I have to say.
I hear ya.
Anybody back there? Oh, I'm sorry.
I have a question for Ms. Linda. Ms. Linda, if my daughter came to you and told you that she had sex for the first time and she found out she was pregnant and her mother didn't know, what would be your response to her?
That has happened to me before. And I advised the young lady to go talk to her mother. And I went with her to go talk to her mother. That's what I would do, because I think it's very important for the mom to know what's going on. And even after she went and told her mom what was going on, I was still there for her, you know, because sometimes a kid can say to me something that he's not going to say to you, just like my child will say something to you or has said stuff to Mika that he hasn't said to me. So, you know, yes, I would do that. I would make sure that the child came to talk to you, but it would have to be on her time. I wouldn't just make her come and do it, but I would assist her in doing it. I would advise her.
Another question right here.
Do you think the Act Now program is effective? The Act Now, stay abstinent?
Personally, I don't think it really is, because Act Now has been around for a pretty long time, and it's obviously not working, because Act Now is, to me, it seems they're only preaching abstinence only. You can't teach abstinence, it's a choice you have to make for yourself. So I don't really think Act Now is pretty realistic in the community right now.
Yeah.